So you're not alone. If you've had a tough few years, it has been tough. And let's start with NRR. NRR has declined since 2022, right? So the steady decrease since 2022. Carrie, tell us about the numbers. Does this feel right? Does this sort of jive with what you see out there?
Yeah, I think there is a piece of context that's important. So we had markets that were raging prior to 2022, and there was a lot of cheap money. And when you have that, you will acquire customers that you probably shouldn't, that are not actually great fits and aren't going to get a lot of value. You'll also have a lot of customers who, when times turn down, are not going to do well enough to spend money of their own. Those two things militate against having a good NRR when times become a little tighter, which they certainly did. One thing everybody should think about when you look at this chart. So the bottom line on the x-axis is at 80%, not zero. So you see a decline here, and this decline is not good news. You never want to see a decline, but it's not a massive decline. So it's an unfortunate decline. It's one that happens across a few years. These are not enormous declines year over year. In fact, year over year, they're not statistically significant. From 22 to 24, it is. And so we don't want the number going in this direction. You could dismiss any 6-month period and say, so what? But you shouldn't say, so what about the 2-year period? That's a problem. So I think we really need to make sure that this gets shored up. I know people have different opinions about NRR as a metric, but to me, it seems like it's a really important metric, and one now that we really should. Now that I think 22 to 23, you could say, okay, we lost some customers that probably we shouldn't have had in the first place, but you didn't gain any customers in 23 you shouldn't have, probably. And so you need to hang on to those.